and welcome to day 32 of the self-care series. What an amazing achievement. You've shown up for yourself for 32 days. Congratulations. I'm amazingly proud of you. Well done. Okay, so for today, I'd like you to take 1 minute again to check in with yourself. And what you're probably finding now is that it's starting to become part of who you are. You're starting to naturally check in with yourself on a day-to-day basis. So congratulations for that. And whatever stage you're at with that checking in, congratulations. Because even from that very first day, when you started to take time just to be calm and quiet and just connect into yourself, it's an amazing first step. And however far you've come along on your journey since then, congratulations. Really, really proud of you. So take that time to connect in with yourself and notice whatever comes up. Notice if there's anything that you get to reach out for support for. Notice if there's anything that you get to share to support others with from what comes up. And definitely notice what gift you get to give yourself today for self-care, to cherish yourself, to celebrate yourself. Okay. And then for the next couple of minutes of your 3-minute activity today, what I'd like you to do is have a look at that goal for self-care that you've set for September. And there's a couple of things I'd like you to think about. First of all, is to break that goal down for the end of the month into smaller sections so that you can have mini weekly goals. And you can use this either to check your progress to see how you're getting on, and then to realign if you need to realign your goal for the end of the month. So you may need to stretch yourself a little bit more, or you may get to minimize it a little. So if you're finding, for instance, I'll use my example. So I'm taking 15 minutes each day at least for breathing, is to really connect into myself. And also I find that the breathing exercises really relax me, really ground me. So if, for example, come the end of this week, I've been struggling to get the 15 minutes in each day, then I might reduce it down so that it would be 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes each day by the end of the month. So the goal is there, and it gets to be stretchy but realistic. So something that we can actually achieve. We get to set ourselves up for success in completing the goal. And if it means we have to readjust and then perhaps extend that goal for the next month, so I could then readjust this month's goal to the 10 minutes at least of breathing each day, breathing exercises. Obviously, we're all breathing all the time. Another wonder of our bodies. But then for perhaps the end of next month, I could then be hitting the 15 minutes at least each day. That's just an example of how we can break it down and then just keep checking on the goal so that we can realign it. So then for the other section that I'd like you to have a look at today is to consider what your very next step is. And this is something that you get to revisit on a daily basis so that you know you've got planned where you're moving to. Because without plan to fail, we fail to plan. So a plan is really important, but that doesn't mean it has to be an Excel spreadsheet, loads of bullet points. It's whatever plan works for you. So I know that for some people, it can be a plan where it's pretty much held in your head. And what I would say, however, is that if you begin to feel overwhelmed or anxious at any point, just remember to empty those thoughts from your head. So it may be dancing them out, singing them out, maybe just writing them down, maybe drawing them, but make sure that anything that's causing you pressure or stress, that you do release it. So one of my favorite ways personally for doing a plan is just to note it down. And if I'm really super busy, I've got a lot on that day on my plate, then I will record and just voice note it. And the beautiful thing is then that it's a recorded version of my plan, so I can listen back to it at any point. And also that can easily be then transcribed so that it's also written. So many of your phones probably have that ability on them, just to take the little voice note for you. So today, checking in on yourself and then breaking that monthly plan down into more manageable chunks so that you have a smaller weekly plan. And then you can chunk it down even more so that you have a daily plan. And then chunk that down even more into your very next step. So for example, with my at least 15 minutes of breathing each day, I'm splitting that up into 3 sections of 5 minutes. So I've done one of my 5 minutes. I did that first thing this morning before I got out of bed. I'll do another one in the middle of the day and then another one at the end of the day. So my very next step is my 5 minutes in the middle of the day. And as we break our goes down into tiny, tiny steps, makes it far more manageable for us. And then actually each of those little steps that we complete along the way, we get to celebrate them. And celebration is amazing. You get to be grateful for what you've achieved. You get to be grateful for the feeling of achievement and for you actually showing up and completing something. So congratulations for still being here with the self-care series. Amazingly proud of you. And let me know how you break your goal down. I'm very excited to hear. Mwah! See you soon.